hanging out with all your friends. Good evening, folks. It's good to see everybody. Eagle fans, you can come sit down. They are so obtuse, the Eagle fans. They're so. Jeff, you're not even like hearing this. I'm ripping on you, you're not even hearing on it. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to the 2025 Mad River Valley Chamber of Commerce annual meeting. It's good to have everyone here, and it's great to be here at the Round Barn at such a beautiful time of year. Big thank you to Jim and Kim, the proprietors of the Round Barn, for allowing us this space. This is obviously a very busy time of year for them, and they never say no. And I really appreciate Kim and Jim. Thank you so much for having us. I want to start out just kind of welcoming you folks a little bit, and then we're going to go to our keynote speaker, and then we'll get into the business. Oh, I can do this. Oh yeah, there it is. I have my agenda so you can see what we're going to be doing. This past year, our fiscal year started September 1, has been a challenging one for me. Personally, and I've been through a lot this year, and my family's been through a lot this year, and this job has been really meaningful to me, to have this work to occupy my time when I was not feeling so well, and it really helped me get through this. And I want to thank the Board of Trustees, especially Sean, our chair, our board chair, and the rest of the board, as well as the membership, for your patience with me this year. And I was out a lot, and I'm feeling really good now, and I feel like I've gotten through all of this stuff, and I could not have done it without the support of this community and the board and our members. And I would also like to do a shout out to my wife, Holly, who's out there. Holly's been through a lot this year, and I didn't help matters, and I would not be here without her. So I want to thank you, Holly, for all the support that you've given. Yep. So the upside, if there's an upside to having cancer, there is. One of them is you lose weight, which is great. Which I could almost say it's almost worth it. But secondly, it gave me a really good opportunity, but I am getting it back, which sucks. But it really gave me the opportunity to kind of get away from the office on a day-to-day basis and be out of town. I was in Boston for like 3 months. And to really kind of step back, look at this organization from 30,000 feet, not worrying about the day-to-day operations of it, and seeing, asking myself, is it relevant? Is it important? Is it important to me? A lot of this is kind of existential sorts of things where it's like, I want to be doing things that are of value in my life. Like, and when you go through something like this, you're like, realize like, your time on this earth is limited, and you want to be doing things of value and helping people. And for me, I started really thinking about that and what is the chamber, what is the value of it. And the conclusion that I came to is yes, it's very much worthwhile. And frankly, it matters now more than ever. The chamber plays an incredibly important role in our community, and will continue in the future to do so for our business community and the Mad River Valley community generally. And we're going through pretty challenging times in this country and in the world generally. And I keep finding, my wife and I keep walking around, and it's like, I just feel like we should be doing something. I feel like we should be doing more. And what can we do? And I think a lot of the opportunities that the chamber allows and encourages, and the foundation that we build is, like I said, just more important now than it's ever been before. So, you know, I think, again, having that time away was really important. And the world, you know, is certainly a little wobbly these days. And what we need to be doing is connecting more, building community, and getting stronger together. It's not just a nice idea. It's imperative that we do that these days. I wanted to set the tone for this evening with our keynote speaker, who's Misha Golfman, who's the director of the Mad River Path. And he's going to talk about the Route 100 active transportation corridor, which hopefully you folks are aware of. There's going to be a public meeting about it next week. The Chamber has been actively involved in this initiative since it's got started, because we really see the value in it, that when this thing is finally built, that we are going to be able to enjoy this piece of infrastructure for generations to come. And Misha's work, he's been here since just like three years, right? Has done so much in this community. It's really incredible, the drive and the determination that he has. And it's just been a pleasure to work with you on this. And it epitomizes the kind of projects that this community needs to be working on, and the Chamber is absolutely all in on. So I would like to introduce Misha Golfman. Prior to joining the Path in 2003, he served as the co-founder and executive director of Croca Expeditions. He did that for about almost 30 years. He and his wife, Lynn, raised 4 kids in southern Vermont in a nature-connected homestead, and they guided over 100 wilderness expeditions all over the world in remote areas. And really, you start hearing stories from Misha. It's some pretty cool stuff that he's done. Misha led a lot of, every year, a cross-country ski trip along the Catamount Trail for the end-to-end ski trail in Vermont. And he did that many times over the years, in bringing students there. And he learned about the Mad River Valley because the trail goes through here, and he fell in love with this place. And when he decided to do something, he and Lynn decided to do something else, they wanted to come back here. So again, it's that infrastructure that we have, that trail that connects people. That trail brought him to our community. And it's a really good example of, why we do these things and why it's worthwhile. So Misha believes that a footpath connecting communities and designed in harmony with nature serves as a powerful tool for social transformation. And he's really excited to contribute his skills and experience to the expansion and completion of the Mad River Path. So with that, I would like to introduce Misha Golfman, Executive Director of the Mad River Path.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to speak to you. And to put it in perspective, being a refugee to this country and an immigrant coming from a different place, to be accepted in the community and to ask to lead a major infrastructure project for a community and to ask to speak with you all, it's an honor. It's also, it feels really good to, after have spent over 30 years living here and spent really 50% of my time out in nature. Now that I am living in the front country, being part of community, really good. Thank you. So almost 3 years ago, I was asked to and invited to lead this project for the Mad River Valley. And I started thinking, like, what do I know? I've never built public infrastructure before, but what do I know that is applicable to this? And what I know is how to lead expeditions. And I've participated in and led remote, long expeditions in Arctic areas of the world, in like difficult places. And probably most what I learned is how to keep people alive and how to keep the people's extremities from getting frostbitten when it's like minus 40 below for 30 days in a row. So when you're in this situation, you actually learn a lot, and that could be applied. So I will share with you what I do know, because I am just learning how to build the path, but I'll share with you things that I have learned really well, having frostbitten my own fingers and toes. So on expedition, there is a certain intention, right? People come together, and this is different, a lot of times it's different from military objectives. There are a lot of similarities, but the difference usually is people come together by choice. They share the intention and they carry it together. They agree on how they're going to do it together, and if they agree, they come alive on the other end. And if they don't, sometimes they don't. And nothing demonstrates it better than Adventures of Shackleton. You all know that experience of bringing people together and agreeing on the objective and how to do this. So when I came to Mad River Valley, it was really interesting to think, wow, this is a really intentional place. People here, actually, so many people are here by choice. They come here because they love nature, they love outdoor adventure, they share this beauty together, and they know the value of small community where it seems like so many people are contributing by choice. And that's what I was like, this is almost like an expedition community in this valley. There's another analogy that I found here on an expedition. There's a certain rhythm and routine that goes along with that. And you have to make decisions in the moment. There are unexpected turns of events. You have to manage risks. And all along, you're thinking about all the small daily things, but you're also keeping an eye on the overall goal and objective. Do we have enough food? Do we have enough fuel? How are we doing with our energy? Are we going to emerge on the other side? So working in the Mad River Path, I'm seeing, wow, there's so many similarities. We have to repair bridges, fix the existing trails, while also writing for grants, meeting with state officials, building coalitions. So it's like we are thinking far, far ahead while taking care of tiniest little details along the way. And I can apply myself in that way because I understand that. But the really big thing that I want to talk to you about is that completing a remote expedition requires will. And you all here, Mad River Valley knows about will. And it's like, okay, so what am I talking about? You know that if you say, I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier, I'm going to do some exercise, I'm going to make my bed real neatly, and then I'm going to take a quick cold shower. Something of that sort, right? You know, if you do this, then it helps you move along. It helps you stay disciplined in your life. That's kind of like an example of development of the will. They're very willful people who live here. You've achieved so much. Coming here is really cool. Like to see the amazing ski resorts and so many small thriving businesses and so many cooperative structures. Well, Americans are very willful. We have colonized the whole country, rapidly displaced native populations, built highways across the whole country, did away with buffalo, etc., etc. So if you could see that if you use your will for the purpose of self, harm is done. So what I learned over time, there's actually two kinds of will. There's like an egotistic will, is when you prioritize ourselves and say, we do what's best for me. We're living in this perfect moment to talk about it right now. This actually leads, if left unchecked, it leads to totalitarian governments. It leads to oppression, because it's unchecked will of one individual or group of individuals could lead to terrible things. I experienced that growing up in the Soviet Union, so kind of feel good to share that with you, what could happen. On the other hand, you could say, okay, I'm driving on the road and there's a dead squirrel, and I'm going to stop, and I'm going to pick up the squirrel and put it in the forest. Well, it's my brother or sister that has been killed by a car, and I will give it a proper burial. Or you could say, and I'm using a lot of driving infrastructure examples because we're talking about road infrastructure. You could say, as I'm driving along and I see someone with flashers, I will make a habit of stopping and asking, do they need help? And you can make a habit out of that, the same way you make a habit out of taking a cold shower every morning. Now you're developing a will to help the other. And we will call this altruistic will. And I would argue that these are the two wills. And if we choose to cultivate the altruistic will in ourselves, we are developing a cooperative society. Whereas if we choose to cultivate egotistic will, we're developing an individualistic society. The highway, divided highway with a 65 miles an hour speed limit, could very well be a physical manifestation of egotistic will, while a shared use path for bikes and pedestrians could be a manifestation of altruistic will. And what I've learned in this past 2.5 years, that here in the valley, this project, it seems like, gosh, we want to build a path along Route 100 from Middlesex to Warren. What a big deal. At some point, we chose to build 24-foot wide road, right? Paved road. We're choosing to pave it all the time, to keep it going, because we decided together that that's important for us. It's important for us to go really fast with cars and trucks, and we constantly decide that we need bigger and bigger cars and trucks, so we're widening this as we go, because we're getting wider and wider. Right? We decided together, it's a decision, we decided, hey, we're going to put our 15-year-old kids, we're going to give them car keys, we're going to let them get into a metal box and go at 65 miles an hour on this road, and we will allow thousands of them to die every year, 20,000 a year, and we will decide that that's okay with us. We get desensitized to that because we made a decision. So these are decisions that we made together cooperatively. So if we made those decisions, how about we now use our altruistic will to say, hey, we want a path where people could walk, where parents can push their strollers, where toddlers can learn how to bike, where children can bike to school, and teenagers, where adults can commute to work, where people of all the generations can extend their active lives by being able to use electrical bikes and bike to and from post office, grocery store, where visitors to the valley can park in Middlesex and come here, not with the car, but with the bike, and spend the whole day here shopping, eating, staying over, come back 2 days later, etc., etc. When we are traveling at the speed of walking or at the speed of biking, we notice things that we cannot possibly notice when we're driving. Or, even worse, when you're driving, how many times you've been in a situation where you're driving and somebody needs a ride, but you're fast. You're going so fast, and you're like, whoops, I wish I stopped for them, but I didn't. Just because it was going too fast, or there's traffic behind me. Well, when you're biking, you're more likely to notice the needs of others and to attend to those needs. We're much more likely to have encounters with each other and encounters with nature, because we can actually hear the birds and hear the wind in the trees, etc., etc. So the path itself is a manifestation of our collective altruistic will, because it will improve lives for everybody. But to do it is inconvenient, because someone has to give up 10 feet of their lawn, and someone has to allow it to go through their driveway. It's going to be an inconvenience for them to stop before they make that right or left-hand turn, because there are going to be more pedestrian crossings, and every time you're late somewhere and you're going fast, you have to slow down for bicyclists and pedestrians. And because every municipality will have to make a contribution, and because before we realize tremendous economic benefits that this path will bring to us, before we can realize that, we need to make an investment. And for many of us, with gray or graying hair, we're making an investment for future generations. We're looking forward. And the path itself is not going to solve all our social and economic problems. I'm not a fool about that. I've learned that much. It's a piece of a bigger puzzle. But what I believe is that when we build a path that connects communities, that connects villages and businesses, schools, it will invite younger families with children. It will invite social entrepreneurs. It will invite things that we wish to have and other things that we don't yet know what they are. It's about the positive future. And that is why I am here to do it with you. And I'm willing to spend the rest of my career. It's a really good, fun project. I enjoy it. But how I want to finish is to say what I've concluded. So we finished the engineering study. We've learned that we can build a path. We have substantiation, stamp, Agency of Transportation. The path separated from the road from Middlesex to Warren. To go from that study to manifesting it in physical reality. It's actually like a spiritual thing. It's not just going to happen. It's only going to happen if all of you in this room want it to happen. No matter how much early in the morning I'll wake up and how many times I'm going to lift my weights and how long I'm going to will myself to stand under the cold shower, I cannot do this alone. It will take businesses, it will take landowners, municipalities, non-profit organizations, all of us working together. And when we can imagine this collectively, it will happen. And then along the way, there will also be a lot of hard work. In the last expedition analogy I will share with you, when you're choosing to go on that long journey, and you say, we want to make a first crossing, a first ascent, or first time go down this wild whitewater river, you know there's going to come with sacrifice. Some of this is calculated, some are going to come along the way. There's no gains we could ever make without letting go of something. So, I think that we can do it. Do you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, don't take mine. I need it. You can't take that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It really has been inspiring to work with Misha and all of the groups that we work with. I mean, that's one of the best parts of this job is the incredible groups of people that I get to collaborate with, and Misha's like one of the best. So thank you. Our next, let's make sure I get this. Whoops. Oh, see, and I had this. I had a nice picture of you and everything, and I forgot to do this. So the Be Better Award. Each year for the last, this is the 5th year that we've been doing this, and during the pandemic in the fall of 2020, it was, I had been working at the chamber for just about 6 months. I'd started in June, I think it was, and then, so in March, things kind of went to hell, and it really changed this organization, and it changed what we had to do, and changed the focus for a long time, and it's been echoing for a long time after that. Win Smith was incredibly helpful during the period, during that period, and I really leaned on him quite a bit, and every time he called, every time I spoke with him, he always said the same thing. He's like, what can I do? What can I do to help? Is there anything I can do? And he was really instrumental, and I was really appreciative of everything that he did during that period. And I said to my wife one day, I said, Wynn's just been amazing, but I'd like to do something nice for him, but what do you got for the guy that has everything? And she had a really good idea. She's like, why don't you create an award in his honor to honor people that do really good for the community. And I thought that was a really good idea. And we did that, and I think Wynn really liked it. We did that in 2020, and we've been doing it every year. What was I going to say? I left my glasses over there. Thank you. Can't see a damn thing. And so, over the past few years, Peter McLaren was the original winner of the Be Better Award. Joshua Schwartz from the Planning District was the following year. Anna Nassett was the 3rd year. Troy Kingsbury was last year. And this year, the honoree is a steadfast leader of the Mater Valley business community, and that has made incredible impacts locally as well as statewide. It's a person that understands what makes our community stand out and is a true believer that Vermont and the Mater Valley in particular are the most enchanting places to live and to love. This person is dedicated to the long-term health of the Mad River Valley brand, its financial well-being, and most importantly, our communal health. The amount of selfless effort that this person has put in for years has not gone unnoticed. Whether it's being a legislative leader doing the grunt work that guides good policy, or offering up her business to our community as a place to celebrate, mourn, or simply to gather and connect, sort of like this evening. So the 2025 Be Better Award goes to Kim Donahue. Did we surprise you? Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot Tom Spencer won last year. That's right. But Kim, so last year we've never had awards like to do this, and Troy is really into it. And when I told him who was going to be getting, he's like, I know what we should do. So you are awarded with a Troy Kingsbury original, and it's in Eagles green, which I'm sort of throwing up in my mouth. Fly, Eagles, fly, and your little heart. There you go. Congratulations. Would you like to say something?
Thank you so very much. This really does mean the world to me. But
She's gonna cry.
I do want to mention, okay, shut up. I do want to mention that Tom Spencer won the Be Better Award in 2024. So Eric started talking about how when he got this job 6 months before really everything shut down. But 6 months, we had our first time that we ever spent together alone, basically, was in the car driving to the Tourism Day Summit.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I either complained or cried the whole entire way.
Both.
Yeah, well, okay. Simultaneously, sometimes. And that became my hallmark with the legislative work that I did. When we needed a legislator to cry, I was your girl. But it really has been, it's been a group effort. My good friends on the board, my good friend Sean and Farrell, Eric, everybody has just been together on this. We've worked as a team. We had to, Peter McLaren, all of this lodging call that we get together, Jean, all of the lodging members, we still get together every single Thursday by Zoom, and we still collaborate on ways to make things better in this community. So thanks for that wonderful slate that we have, that you've given us to make sure that we can still make this a healthy community. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kim. So Troy also made this was going to hang in our in the office at the Welcome Center. There is a graphic that didn't arrive in time that's going right here. It'll say Be Better Award, but it's got all the people on it, and hopefully I'll live long enough to fill this up. So we'll see. So now we got to get to the business end of things. First off, and congratulations, Kim. Kim, did you see we got that? Yeah, we cut your mom out. That's her hair. So our Board of Trustees, we have, our bylaws say that we have to have between 7 and 12 board trustees, and we currently have 11. And Susie Edwards and Kim Donahue are terming out. You're allowed to have 2 3-year terms, and they are terming out. Thank you to Susie and to Kim for your efforts for this. And so the first thing we're going to be voting on is our proposed slate of officers. These are unchanged from last year. Sean Kramer, our board chair, Anna Nassett, our vice chair, Mary Tuttle, our secretary, and Mimi Buttenheim, our treasurer. Is Mimi here? Yes. Thank God for Mimi. We would like to vote on that if we can. Do I have a motion to accept that slate? A motion to accept the slate. Do we have a second? We have a second, Susie. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, sucker. Now, we have 2 candidates to replace those on the slate. Sam Rosenberg from the local and Jean Rye from the Hideaway have been nominated by the board to fill those seats. Do I have a motion to accept the slate as proposed? Yeah. Peter, second? I'm taking her, Roger. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, excellent. So we have 2 new victims, which is good. I want to give you a little bit of a financial update. I am not going to give you the full financials. I would be more than happy to share them with you. They're actually there and all of that. But I don't want to bore you with it. Bottom line is we have about 152, 153 members, give or take a little bit. I'm not totally convinced. I believe in my my CRM always, but we're within 5. We're about 150-ish members. We have lost about 12 members over the past year. That's not good. And we also finished this year in a hole about $20,000 in what we took in less than we had than we spent, or took in more than we spent. Spent more than we took in. That's what it is. This is why I shouldn't be doing this. That is not okay. And we really need to get those numbers back up. The reason we lost those, I think, is natural attrition, which we always have some churn in our membership. We did add new members as well, but I think that I was not out beating the bushes. I mean, I was out for a good 5-6 months where I was not out doing things. And then when I came back, I'll be really honest with you, even to this day, I'm having a hard time getting out and being, like, it's a chore for me to go out and be social. Like, I really have to, like, kind of, and it's just not me. But I've had issues doing that, and I need to be doing that more, and that's what I need to spend my time doing this year. And my goal is to get us up to 200 members by the end of this year. It's 4 or 5 a month. It's 1 a week. It's not that bad. It's doable. The number, the prospects are out there. I need your help, folks. I really do. I need our membership to help get new members on board, because that's the only way that we can ever do any more than we're already doing. In terms of the expenses, it's really a simple organization. We have about $135,000 a year budget. My bloated salary, our rent, and paying for the website and the various subscriptions and things that we have to have, and the basics of running the place. It's not rocket surgery. It is pretty simple what we spend our money on, and there's not a lot of fat. I wish we had more and we could do more, and the only way we're going to be able to do more is if we get more members. So that's something that we're really going to be putting a focus on. And yeah, so revenue, I talked about that. And again, I'm more than happy to share the financials with you. Just email me, Eric@Matter-of-Valley. I'd be glad to send them to you. I'm going to put them into a link in our email updates that go out, so you can have a look at that as well. And again, please feel free to ask any questions. Don't ever hesitate to ask. So that's where we are from a financial perspective. Oh, they talked about the revenues. Just so you know, revenues, where they come from, it's the vast majority comes from membership, VACE commissions, the insurance commissions, a little bit of sponsorship money, some grants. It's really, it's you folks. It comes from you folks. And again, this is what our expenses are, and what we spend our money on. And it's like I said, there's not a lot of fat there. It is what it is. So what have we accomplished this past year? And it's more than just insurance and ski passes and mixers and why people join the chamber. Those are obvious tangible benefits to being members. But again, why is it that you should care about this organization? And again, as I said earlier, this world feels very uneasy, and we need to do something. And I'm curious, how many people went to the movie on Friday night, the Join or Die movie? A handful of you. Okay. That was pretty incredible movie. It was really inspiring in a lot of ways. Bob Putnam, who was the Harvard professor and the sociologist that is the author of Bowling Alone, who was the main protagonist in the movie. And I think that if we asked Bob what he thought about the chamber and what we do, he would be, I'm sure that he would argue that the chamber in particular is exactly what our region, our state, and our local economy need. We need people to be involved in what we're doing now more than ever. And again, I don't want to be too dramatic here, but things are really tenuous. I talk to business people all the time, every day, and they're scared. And people, again, as I said, they want to do something. They don't quite know what to do. And there are so many opportunities within the chamber to be involved and make things better. So your homework for tonight is to go and watch that movie, Join or Die. It's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. And I would encourage you to check it out. I found it really inspiring. And again, the chamber provides these kinds of opportunities to do positive things for the entire community. Our work at the Chamber falls on three different pillars. We do marketing and promotion, we do professional development, and we do community engagement. And instead of kind of listing them all, I kind of wanted to give a couple of anecdotes about each one. And, because I think it's not always apparent or readily apparent, what the benefit of the Mad River Chamber is. And you don't realize, what it's going to happen. So from a marketing and promotion thing, we worked on that calendar, our Mad River Valley Reporter Chamber calendar. Took like 10 years to pull together. Peter can attest to this, how long, like ridiculously long it took to do that. That thing now is a really, really powerful tool. It is the second most visited page on our website. And people are using it. And one of the great things, the anecdote that I like to bring up is this spring, we had a lodging meeting on Thursdays, as Kim was talking about. And she was bringing up the fact that on the Mother's Day, they did really, really well here at the Round Barn with their Mother's Day teas. And I'm like, that's weird. I can't believe people would go to that. But I'm like, okay. All right. And she was telling me, she's like, yeah, it was really weird. She's like, all these people from Chittenden County and from Stowe, and we couldn't figure it out because we didn't advertise there. And we only advertised locally. I'm wondering how these people heard about it. And after inquiry, you realize that 7 Days picked it up, and they put it into their calendar of events, and that it was in the Stowe Reporter, and that it was in WDEV was talking about it. Because of this thing that we've been working on for a long time, finally got done, and is being used, and it's a really good tool, it's helping our economy. It's helping a business, again, in a small way, but it helped. And there's so many people that have said the same thing about that calendar. When this past weekend, how many people were here on Sunday for the Community Connection Fair? That thing was amazing. That event would not have happened if it was not for the Chamber of Commerce, because someone called and said, hey, I have this idea. And I'm like, that's a good idea. Let's connect and do this. And it all came together, and we were able to pull off this amazing accomplishment. So, that was, again, marketing and promotion. We don't have a big marketing and promotion budget, but what we like to try to do well, and it's meaningful and it's organic. The amount of people that come into our Welcome Center, hundreds of people a year come in, and the connections that we're able to make with those people. I mean, there's so many stories that I could tell you about, but one that really comes to mind were these two women. There's a couple from New Zealand. They came in and they were just blown away by what we had. They could not believe the itinerary builder that we have. They're like, this is like the coolest thing we've ever could have imagined. Totally blown away with it. Turns out that they had a place, one of them was from Massachusetts originally. They had a place on the Cape. So that was a connection that we had, and we started talking more about it. Turns out that this lady is very active in sustainable tourism in New Zealand. Now I have a really good connection over there. She's now coming back to the Valley every year since, and that's been about 3 years now. And then they're coming back every year because they fell in love with this place, and they come up whenever they visit. They come up from Massachusetts, and they always come to Vermont. So those are those little things, again, that I learned so much at Mad River Glen, that it was not about marketing. It's about the experience and showing people a good time and doing a good job of providing a good experience and let the word of mouth happen. And I think that we do a really, really good job of that, and thank God, because God knows we don't have enough money to market in more traditional ways. Professional development is the other area that we do a lot of work in. And again, this is an example that just came up in the last couple of months. Ryan Donnelly from Hostel Tevere was complaining at one of our lodging meetings. There's a lot of complaining at the lodging meetings if you haven't figured this out. And he was complaining about the fact that, the fire inspection, the safety inspections that he was going through were really inconsistent in how they were being interpreted. And as he was talking about it to the lodging group, we realized that there were other people in the lodging group that had similar situations. They said, hey, maybe we can find out from the restaurant people if they're experiencing that. I was able to send out a questionnaire to the restaurant people and to the lodging people who gave input back on this. I was able to consolidate that information, show the trends, put a piece of material together that we sent to our legislators, to the Department of Fire Safety, and we helped this get resolved in a really good way. And they're not shutting him down like he was worried about getting shut down, and he's not being shut down right now. So that effort that we made as a chamber, because we meet and because we talk about these sorts of things, that we were able to solve a problem that many businesses are not going to have to worry about in the future, and they're not going to know that the chamber was involved in that. They're just going to know that the system's kind of working. But we have valuable input that we can provide if we work in concert with one another. So that was a really good example, again, of professional development. And then community engagement. We do so much in regard to community engagement. I think it's probably the most important thing that we do. A good example of this is the Stand Up for Safety program. And hopefully you guys are all familiar with that. Anna Nassett started that, again, because of an experience at a chamber mixer. A conversation was made with Farrell Leo and Anna Nassett. They came up, they said, hey, we should be doing this, we should be doing something as a community. Within a couple of days, we had workshops planned, and we've been doing this, and this was several years ago. We're announcing that we are, on October 8th, I think I have it right, in the most recent email update, you should know that there is we're going to be doing quarterly workshops this year with a different focus on each one at the Welcome Center every 3 months. And Anna's not here tonight, and Anna is in Tennessee right now, and she was invited to speak at a group down there to talk about the Stand Up for Safety program. Because their community down there saw what we were doing. And just so you know, we are the first community that we know of in the United States that has a program like this as a community, and we should be really proud of that. And again, now we are showing outsized influence because Anna's going out and telling the Mad River Valley story to other parts of the country. And hopefully this will be growing, and that's something that, again, I'm really, really proud of. So those are the kind of, examples of sort of the things that we do, but, you kind of can't forget about the basics. And the basics are really, really important. From a marketing perspective, we run the website, madrivervalley.com. It is the only website in existence that promotes this community as one unit. Our Welcome Center is beautiful. If you haven't been there and seen it, I encourage you to please come check it out. We have our ambassador program. We have our the Mad River Valley logo, which we have was the gift to the community from the chamber many years ago, and people are now using it. And if the Mad River Path and other organizations are using that logo, which is great, and we've been able to curate and care and feed that logo, which is really important. The social media efforts that we do, the tailgate talks. Hopefully people have seen my crazy tailgate talks, right? And I'll get you on the tailgate one of these days. So those are the things that we do from a marketing perspective. In terms of professional development, we have the Mad River Valley Women in Business group meets every other month. We have mingles every other month. We have our sector groups that meet as often as weekly. In regard to the lodging group, the retailer group also meets weekly, and trying to encourage more of that. We're actually starting a short-term rental group as well, of short-term rental owners. And we also have the marketing workshops that with
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to leave, and there are 2 cars blocking the upper parking lot. There's a Subaru and a GMC.
No? This upper parking lot?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah, just, if somebody here has a GMC truck and a Subaru that's blocking the upper parking lot. What color is the Subaru? I can tell you the license plates. 516A7, it's a, well, it's kind of hard to read. It's a blue Subaru and a big gray GMC truck.
Don't be shy, get up.
Either one could move and I could get out. And I'm not the only one up there.
Okay,
Maybe a guest in the hotel in the inn.
What's that?
Maybe a guest in the inn.
sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. So, so the community engagement, we talked about, we do legislative advocacy. We do the Stewart MRV program, which has been an incredibly successful program. The Stand Up for Safety program. The work that I do as the Mad River Planning District, and the CRV program and the Banner program. We're in touch with our community in so many different ways. And I always wonder, like, what the hell am I doing? Like, all this stuff, at the end of the day, I kind of like, what the hell did I do today? It's nonstop phone calls, it's nonstop emails, people don't know who to call, they call the chamber. If we were not there, this stuff wouldn't get done. The simple phone calls that we get, the people, needing connections. If our community doesn't have that resource, it's not a good look. We're Roxbury. And no offense about Roxbury, but it's like, that's what we are. And I'm really proud of what we've been able to do and what we've been able to accomplish. Membership should not be about what's in it for me. Whenever I meet a business owner and I'll say, well, what do I get for it? I'm like, this is not the organization for you. I want them to think about is what can I do to help our community? A little JFK-esque, I would think, but he did have a point there. It shouldn't be a transactional relationship. It's not, how many hits I got on the website and how many references I give you and all of those kinds of things. It's more about, it should be aspirational and that people should be members of the chamber because they want to make the community a better place.
It's the altruistic will versus the.
There you go, yes. See, great minds think alike, and mine and Misha's do too. So, yeah. So as we look ahead towards 2026, looking ahead, see, I'm fancy, I got this. It's nothing fancy. We got to continue with our core mission of what we've already been doing. We need to grow our membership. I have to get that membership number up. We're going to be fine-tuning the membership tiers. It was a system that I inherited when I took this job, and I think it's time for us to kind of look at it again. We're going to be starting a membership tier committee that's actually starting next week. We're working with a consultant to kind of look at how we can improve and relate the reasons to be members and the different membership tiers. So that we're going to be working on quite a bit. I'd really like to get the Welcome Center fully staffed this year. It's been challenging as the Rec Hub is getting started in fits and starts. The restaurant is going to be opening in November, it looks like. So that will be a lot more, that will definitely get more traffic into the Rec Hub. So we're excited about that. And that Rec Hub is getting a lot more use, and that is, we're trying to figure out how that's going to work. And again, I would really want to make sure that we have full coverage 7 days a week. And it's hard to do that with volunteers, but we're getting there, and we're getting more and more all the time. And generally speaking, I want to just foster more engagement with the chamber. And I'm hoping that you guys can get tangled up in the chamber a little bit more, tangled up in a positive way, and get involved in the different things that we're doing. There's so many opportunities, whether it be that membership task force group, whether it be the Welcome Center Ambassador Program, whether it be the sector group meetings. whether it be, just coming up with events and using the tools that we provide. They're there for you. So that's what we're trying to do. I hope you see the value in it. I hope you can encourage your colleagues to think about membership. And please let me know if I can be of any assistance with that. And I will like to leave some time, first of all, to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for your trust and your financial commitment, as well as your professional commitment to the organization. And I'd just like to open it up for questions, if people have any questions about what's going on and at all. Yeah, Beth?
What restaurant, what rec hub? Sorry.
The Rec Hub is the VORAC grant. We got a $400,000+ VORAC grant a couple of years ago, which built the bridge behind the Welcome Center. It created the Welcome Center. It created the path connecting the bridge to the downtown business district via the Mad River Path, and the CRV, which is the Community Recreation Visioning.
There across from Gallagher's.
Exactly.
Got it.
You're dating yourself, but yes. Yes. You got it. The Valley Reporter is a paper. It comes out every week.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I know
that-
that's the thing. I didn't know the restaurant was coming.
Yeah, and the restaurant is coming back.
What kind of restaurant do you?
It's going to be, John Morris is going to be leasing it out to somebody. I don't want to announce that yet. It's not a done deal, but it's really close. And it's going to be a barbecue kind of burger kind of place, similar to what it was, I think. Very experienced people. And John's been really holding off, waiting for the right person, because he didn't want it to go out of business like it did the last time he leased it out. So, yeah, so that's what's happening, and you'll hear more about that in the very near future. Any other questions? Yes, Dara?
Hi, thank you for this. This has been a wonderful presentation.
Yeah?
I'm really happy to be here. I'm just curious about your trend line in terms of membership.
Yeah.
How does the loss of 12 and 150 compare to historical?
How does it compare to what?
Historical.
Susan's, right, I think the number, it was funny, I called Susan, do you remember this phone call a while ago? And it was within the last year, right? And it was very funny, I said, Susan, what was the maximum number of members that you ever had? And you're like, right off the top of your head, you're like 212 or something like that, right? And I'm like, wow, you knew that, that's good. So when I talked to my colleagues at VACE, which is the Vermont Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, who knew that existed, but it does. We're in a better situation than most. While we're small, there used to be like 60 or 70 chambers in Vermont. Now there's 14 or 15. And the reason for that is most of them went away because most of them, it was strictly a vehicle for health insurance. And with the passage of the Affordable Care Act, a lot of them went away or were absorbed, and there was consolidation. We were unusual in that we were never a chamber, as far as I know, Susan, please correct me if I'm wrong, that we didn't really rely on that for our revenue. It was more about membership dues. And I don't know why that is the case, but the trends for chambers that are not more forward-thinking are not great. Yes?
I know I'm not a member yet, but I attended a virtual VNI meeting, and they're all down.
A virtual what meeting?
BNI.
BNI.
Meeting this morning, and all the chapters, they have half the chapters. that we use. So everybody's heard, it's Business Networking International.
Okay.
And so it's, and that's way more rigid and strict than this.
Well, it's interesting. Again, this movie, Join or Die, people are not joining organizations. It's trending away from that.
Lost it in the high schools first.
And it's, this is why we need to do this. And I think that, if I wasn't sick this year, I am convinced that we would not have had a loss of members. I really firmly believe that. But we got to get them back.
Is the loss of businesses having to do with businesses closing?
Yeah, some of the businesses are closing. So for example, like we had, we had businesses close. We had, businesses like Fifth Quarter was, I had two members there. It was the Taste Place and Fifth Quarter. Now it's one, so.
But they're members, so,
What's that?
but they are.
Yeah, but they were two members and now they're one. So, when Sugar Bush bought Paradise, I lost a member, So, it,
Double.
huh?
Charge them double.
No, but that's the other thing too, is like, feel like, I want this not to be a transactional thing. When you pay your membership dues, whether you're Green Circle or Blue Square or whatever, I frankly don't treat them differently. I treat everyone pretty much the same. I probably shouldn't say that, but it's true. And I think it's more a matter of how businesses feel how they want to be perceived in the community and how much they want to invest in it. Yes?
So how many businesses are members who are professional services or, not brick and mortar?
Yeah.
physical?
It's interesting. We have a bunch, we've gotten increases in membership from STR owners. Okay, we've had a bunch of those kind of people. We are doing better with what Anna refers to as the pajama people who are working at home and have private consultancies that maybe don't do any business in the Valley, that they're doing business, outside of town. So I think we're doing better there. We don't have a lot of the professional people is where we're lacking. Like it's really, it's hard. Like we don't have the lawyers and folks like that, and the accountants and things like that. Hall and Holden is a member, and but that's the only one.
The list is on the website, though, Eric.
What's that?
The list is on the back.
Yeah.
So, I just want people to know that
Yep.
the list is on the website, so if you want to see who is a member
Yeah.
and maybe look at who,
Yeah.
if you've someone you maybe think might not be and you want to contact them or something, you can check the website. It is
Yeah.
on there.
And if you go to MedRiverValley.com and you look on the very upper right-hand corner of that, you'll see a Chamber of Commerce link. And there's two websites. We have the outward-facing visitor-centric site, and then we have the member-centric site, which I'm doing a lot of work to right now. And we're going to be doing a lot of work to it with this work with the consultant on the tiers. So we're kind of preparing for that. So you're going to see some changes in that overnight. In the next little bit. Yes, Dory?
Can I come up there?
Yeah. But you got to speak loud, Dory. It's not your strength.
I know, I'm sorry what you went through.
Thanks.
So, I'm a Vermonter, born and raised here. When I was 5 years old, my grandmother taught me volunteering. So I volunteered at the Montpelier Library, and I grew up volunteering, bringing people together. And so, watching what is going through in the community, I would figure if everybody here brought in one member, that's my assignment. If everybody here brought in and reached out and found one member to bring into the chamber, it would make a huge difference. So I grew up community, I grew up bringing people together, and we're trying to grow the Mad Marathon, which we did this year. First couple years, all of the hotels and lodges accommodated us. Now there's weddings going on and everything else, but what I am saying again, if every person here could reach out and bring in one person and find one membership, that would increase and support me, because my point is bringing people together. It's not just, it's here having community and talking, but it's reaching out through the year and bringing everybody together. So that's my hope and assignment. Please give it a shot. It'd be great.
Thank you, Dory.
Derek, if I wanted to talk somebody into joining the chamber, what is the pitch?
I think the pitch is look at what all of the things that we do for this community. And that if we did nothing else except have a website, have a welcome center, and answer the damn phone, that's worth it from a business to support it. If we did nothing else, because we have to have that done. And you'd be shocked at the phone calls I get. You would be. I mean, it's like from across in the email, it's like, I've got a weird question, you know, and my wife can attest to this, right? Like, and the phone does bounce to my phone. It bounces to my cell phone when I'm not there. And I answer that phone weekends, at night, and people are shocked. Like, one that I answer, I'm like, well, if you're so shocked that I answered, why did you call? But I do answer the phone, and they always say, I got a weird question for you. And just a couple of days ago, I got the classic, so what's peak foliage? I'm like, yeah, you just can't make this up. Like,
I think it was today.
yeah, you missed it.
I think it was yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's amazing. So that is what I would say. All of the information is on the website. And yeah, like I said, and just have them call me. I will be happy to talk to you. I just need an intro. And I'm not good at it. I'm not a good.
That's not true. That's my comment.
What?
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Beth Scholkoff with the Bigger Picture Community Fund, which is a nonprofit that we built in May, and a lot of you came to the party, and I called you and said, should we be members? And you were not feeling well, but you stopped everything and helped us think about that in May and June, because the Big Picture has not been a member, but we are the nonprofit that runs the theater and the event space, and you've been incredibly enthusiastic and helped us as novice people to think about how to get out into the community. And I really appreciate that. And it's really helped us to get more confident to start talking to people, so.
And I'm glad, and I really appreciate you saying that, Beth, because you know the big picture always kind of drove me crazy a little bit, because I worked there for a long time. I think I told you this, and like 30 years ago, I bartended there, and I look back on that as like one of the really fun times I had working, you know, in various businesses in this town, and I know you kind of go back and like you know. Working at the video store and things like that, and you know, it's like you kind of realize like where we've all worked over time, and you know, as the Big Picture was never a chamber member, I never didn't talk about them, because I always think that we get more flies with honey, and that the Big Picture is always one of the unique things about the Valley. You know, it's not as unique as it used to be back when, you know, it was the only place to get drinks in a movie theater. But it's one of the things that differentiates our community. So I always would talk about it, and I always kept it on our website, because it's one of those things that I don't exclude people, and we never get into like you don't not get the email update if you're not a member. I want everyone to get the email update because I want them to know what the hell we're doing. So we're trying to be more inclusive and less exclusive.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I have a comment, but then I have two questions for you. My comment is on the same theme. I don't get a great benefit from being a member, but I do it because it floats the boat. What is good, what the chamber is doing is helping all the businesses be better at what they do. And if the economy of the valley is healthy, it's going to help us all. There'll be fewer restaurants closing, fewer stores closing, fewer banks closing. So I think you've been doing a great job, and let's all float the boat. But my two questions are, kind of related to that, is at one time, we were also sort of an associate member of the Lake Champlain Chamber. Could you talk about that relationship now and any benefits? And the second is, I talked to you a few years ago about the ambassador program, and it was like, oh yeah, it's fine. If we were to sign up now, is that calendar still on the website, and is that the way we want to approach? So
Yes.
those are two topics.
Yeah, so the first question was about
Lake Champlain.
Lake Champlain Chamber. That's a really good question. It was one of those things that was again, I inherited that, and when Win was on the board at Lake Champlain Chamber, that's right? And that was, you were ED at that point, right? See, it's been going on for a long time, and when I kind of took over, it had become sort of fallow, and there was nothing being done, and I don't think anyone realized that there was that connection, and Win was no longer on the board at Lake Champlain Chamber. We don't have that relationship anymore, not for any particular reason, more that it was just, we didn't, and I can pursue it if it's of interest to people. I don't know what the membership benefits were that, but we certainly could.
I
It was
believe
fun
there's
to go to
certain-
the meetings.
Okay, good food?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes?
I'm on the board of the Lake Champlain Chamber.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'd be happy to make that, I didn't know that that was a thing.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see and maybe revive that.
Yeah.
Yep. And you'll see a lot of in the email updates that we send out, that I send out, that you'll see, especially legislative updates. A lot of that comes from Lake Champlain Chamber or Vermont Chamber, because they have dedicated legislative people that are working on that stuff. So,
Somehow I'm still on their mailing list, so I get every one of their updates.
yeah, see, they're better at that than I am.
I don't get it.
Yeah. And did I answer the question?
Ambassador now.
Oh, the ambassador program is becoming way more robust. It's Heidi's here. Heidi was there today.
Representative tonight.
Yes, and we appreciate you coming in today. And you said you had like three different groups coming today in your 2 hours?
Yes, I had a group of three couples from Indiana. They were staying at the Tucker Hill Lodge, and they must have gotten recommended to come to the chamber, and it's easy to access. And they were looking for hiking recommendations. Yeah.
That's classic. And it's really, like I said, especially with so yes, we are, I think, doing a better job of organizing it better. It was really, really hard because when we moved from Bridge Street, the state signs weren't moved yet. It took like a year and a half to get those moved. I have to hammer the state to do that. It ended up having to wait for it to get on Google Maps and Apple Maps and things like that. It's been gradually growing. We definitely get more in the summer and in the fall in terms of people coming in. In the winter, I'm not seeing it. I thought we would get more. Skiers know where they're going. And the time when people will come in the winter is when we get a rainy day or shitty skiing, and what else can we do around here? And so they come in. So it's hard to manage the ambassadors because there were people that were coming in and that weren't feeling valued because there weren't enough people coming in, so they didn't feel like they were doing anything. And some people liked that. Some of they're like, great, I can do my work here and it's fine. And we have a lot of people that work from home that like to just be there and hang out and be away from home for 2 hours and get away from their wife or husband or whatever. And so that's been good, but I think that when the restaurant opening, I think it's going to be more consistent.
So how about things like hours? Is it 7 days a week? What hours?
I consciously do not put hours out because I don't know when people are going to be there. And I'm there a lot, but like today, you came in 10 to 12, right? And she put in 2 hours, and I was there a little after 12. I was able to get there because I had meetings this morning. So I was able to get there and do it. But I don't like putting hours out because I don't know. I don't want to tell people that we're going to be there when we're not going to be there. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to, especially during the busier seasons in the fall, in the summer, in the winter, have people, ideally 7 days a week.
So you're saying if you're not there, then it's locked, it's closed?
Well, no, I mean, it's kind of worked out organically in that the bike shop guys, I can walk out of there and they will mind the store there, and they're awesome. And they have one guy that works there, and he's like my main volunteer. So Mac is just incredible, and he walks up for me and does stuff. We also have Basha Majors. who is one of our longest-serving volunteers. She does every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, which is huge.
Okay, I'd like to say that I'd like Inns and everybody else that's staying there to recommend people to coming in.
Yeah.
I think that works. The people that came in today were staying at the Tucker Hill Lodge.
Yep.
And I'm sure that they had recommended them coming to the
Yep.
Chamber of Commerce to get more information.
Yeah, absolutely. And
That's
they,
important.
yeah, and that itinerary builder that we have now is just like, it's so good. I know it's not where we had a little issues with it today,
Yeah,
but,
we have good issues.
but it's,
today.
it really is amazing, and people are, the visitors are just blown away when they get this, that, we don't have to, it's great for the ambassadors, because they don't have to know everything. You can just say, oh yeah, Burnt Rock, that's a great hike, and you just click on it, and that person's gonna get the driving directions to the trailhead, and then a trail description, linked right there. And if they go to, they wanna go to Mad Taco, you're gonna get driving directions and the link to their website. So, and you just add it on there, and you can send that to yourself and share it, and it makes it a lot easier, so the ambassadors don't have to sit and draw maps for every single person that walks in. So, yes?
I'm in town 4 days a week working, and I didn't know where you were.
There you go.
I thought it was at the Wait House, the General Wait
No,
House.
that was 10 years ago?
So it's a busy intersection. I mean, you're
There's a lot going on, and
You're
this,
trying not to get killed in the intersection, so
Yeah.
I don't
and
know.
the signage laws in the valley are tough, so, in Waitsfield, so it's like, we don't have the signage that we would ideally like to have,
Right.
but I think it's getting there, and it's slowly building, and it's, I didn't know how it was gonna go. And I'm a little nervous, frankly, about the restaurant opening, because people, if they're just waiting for a table or something, can just wander in, which is great. And we do leave it open, so I think you asked, like, is it just locked? No, I'm kind of been keeping it open a lot, and even if it's unstaffed, I'm not worried about people stealing stuff. There's nothing really worth stealing. So, yeah, relatively fast and loose, though, is what I'm trying to do at this point, until I can get it better. Yes, sir.
Following on what Beth said, I did hear there are 106 non-profits in this valley.
Uh-huh.
How many are members, do you know?
Not that many. I'd say, I
So
don't know, 10.
maybe that is an attraction.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of those, like the Mad River Path is a member, and, I'm trying to think, the other,
Yes, tomorrow?
Yes, Tamar is a member. There's a few. The libraries, the Mad River Valley Libraries are members. What's that? Rotary. Right, it's Rotary. It's probably about 10, I would guess. When we were integrally involved in this event last Sunday. And I was surprised that we enumerated 80 groups. And I was shocked. And we were expecting, and we started planning this, we figured, 10, 15 groups would show up, and that 40 of the 80 showed up. It was more than 40, actually. It was really incredible. So, yeah, we have no shortage of nonprofits, that's for sure. And we do, it's a discounted rate for nonprofits too, so it's not going to solve our problems, but, and I'm reluctant to go after them because I always know that they're hurting for money. I don't want to beg Misha for money. His job's to beg me for money, right? So, yeah. But yeah, I'll take them. They're all good. Any other questions, comments, criticisms?
Eric, talk a little bit about your legislative work and the meetings you have, or Joey talked forever about.
The legislative work was really interesting. When I taught civics, I'm a high school social studies teacher by trade. Like, I taught civics and history and things like that. And I always kind of poo-pooed the idea of legislative agendas and lobbying and things like that. And one, I thought it was unsavory, and two, I didn't think it worked. And I've come to realize that it is unsavory, but it does work. And this community, since the pandemic, has punched way above its weight in terms of of the power that we have from a legislative perspective, because we are so well organized. And when Kim was pretty serious when she was saying, you need someone to cry in front of the legislature and tell you what's going on. She was really good at that. And her role as the, on the Vermont Chamber Board, as well as being on our chamber board, she was integrally involved in all of this stuff. And it's come to the point where our legislators know to come to us, and trying to develop a long-term relationship with them, in that it's not just contacting and writing a letter in session, trying to have, something before, during, and after, so that we have a long-term relationships, that you know what our needs are and what our desires are from a business perspective. We're very, very fortunate that we live in a place where I can reach out via email to our representatives and to our senators, and they respond to me same day, almost invariably. It's really remarkable, and I realize that when you get 4 or 5 people, 4 or 5 business owners send a letter to a legislator about a particular topic, that registers with them, and it means something. And I always kind of question that, and I've kind of come to the realization that it does matter and it does help. So, yeah, and it's not sexy either. It's really just being on the ground and being there to answer questions for people. Is really all it is, and having this organization so that the legislators or whoever can call us and say, hey, I need someone to talk about the wedding industry, I need to talk to someone in the restaurant industry, I need to talk to somebody, whatever. It's really valuable to have that. So I never thought I would be involved in it, and it's kind of one of my favorite parts of the job now, in a lot of ways. Yes, sir. Oh, can I introduce you? This is Roger Klatt, who is the executive director of Revitalizing Waterbury. It's our counterpart organization over in Waterbury, and I'm really proud of the fact that we've been able to develop a great relationship with them. And we are one, and we love our neighbors up north. And yeah, so Roger.
I just want to thank you. I think all of you should be really thankful that you've got such a great leader in your chamber. Revitalizing Waterbury is not a chamber, but we do have members like this. And we face many of the same challenges, and Eric has been tremendously welcoming to me and to our organization, and he really does think large and think about the larger benefit of this entire region. Our kids go to the same schools. It is one area, and I just really appreciate the leadership that has shown. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Roger. Any other questions or announcements? Yes, Beth.
This has nothing to do with it, except there's no parking at the top of Lincoln Gap Road for long trail access. So I don't know if anyone knows what's going on.
What happened to the parking lots?
There's a traffic light up there, lots of heavy equipment, they're digging everything up. And supposedly they're paving the parking lots at the top. So if somebody wants to go up and hike, and I don't know how long this is gonna be going on, but there's major equipment up there.
I was totally unaware of that. Thank you.
When I saw the traffic light, which Jeff and I did, we're like, what in God's name is going on?
The traffic light is on the top?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, yeah, on a Saturday. They were doing something.
But if
And the
anybody,
crew said it would be finished by Wednesday, which is today.
no,
I was up there today again, and they were still hard at it, so I'm imagining more right at the end of the week.
yeah, so, but just so people are aware, maybe don't send people up there. I saw a guy in a high-end, low-to-the-ground BMW that was not happy going down the other side.
Oh, well.
I believe they're widening the parking area on
Yep.
one side, because one side wasn't quite wide enough. And the other side is kind of too wide, so people didn't double park in. So they're making an arrangement for that, and then they're fixing the lower lot. If anything I learned at the Warren Select Board meeting. So there you go.
Well, you gotta love Mad River TV.
No parking up there.
There you go.
That's good to know. Thank you.
The road closes in like 3 weeks. Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Why didn't they wait?
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I was just gonna say one thing quick.
Yes.
Some of
Oh,
you
this
don't
is
know
so scary to me.
The three people who don't know me. Thank you, Karen.
I'm Susan Klein. I was the executive director here for 17 years before Eric. There was a little lull in between, but well done, my friend. Well done. So what I wanted to say was both this chamber and I'm president of the Mad River Valley Rotary Club are unique in many ways in our peer communities. Our chamber and our Rotary are growing and stronger as others around us are diminishing and getting weaker. And I think it's a true testament to the love and the passion of the people who are here, both business people, homeowners, part-time homeowners. I just think it's, we all think we have a special place. I think we really do have a special place, and this is why it's special. So thank you, and thank you all.
Thank you, Susan. Anything else? Anyone?
I have Peter McLaren's hat that he left over here.
Don't forget it, thank you, Susan.
But thanks everyone for coming. Thanks to Kim and Jim for hosting us. We really appreciate it. If you're going to be joining us for dinner, we're going to be starting pretty soon. And Andy's going to have, I don't know what I think he's serving it over here.
Motion to adjourn?
What's that?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, folks.